We have some great new characters this season. They're all set up to have very complicated interactions with several of the people in our cast.
Marcia Gay Harden is playing Rebecca Halliday. She's one of our great actresses. People are going to really love her in the show.
Rebecca Halliday, she's a First Amendment lawyer, and she's super, super, super smart, and she's a little bit smug. Did you take calls from the DOD asking you not to run the story?
That happens all the time.
The entire population of the Pensacola minimum security prison is people who did things that happen all the time.
Her job is to make sure that under the stress of a deposition and a cross-examination, that none of our characters will say the wrong thing.
If you don't let me do my job...
You're gonna do what? Jump up really high in the air and swat my chin? I have the confidence of a tall man.
Lose. And no one responsible for Genoa will ever work again.
This is Jerry Dantana.
We've met.
Of course we have. How you been, man?
We had a long talk the last time he was in D.C. Jerry Dantana is a veteran of the D.C. Bureau of ACN who has come up to replace Jim, who's gone off to cover the Romney campaign.
We also see right away that he is not the favorite son here.
Why'd Will go quiet? I teed him
Will's
up.
not your problem. The panel's your problem.
I'll have a word with him. He's very good.
Use Jim's guys.
He would love nothing more than to score a big story while Jim is in New Hampshire.
Jerry gets this tip about this hot story called Operation Genoa.
I'm gonna give you a story.
What kind of story?
The kind that makes careers and ends presidencies.
And he scores a huge story. It's just one that goes terribly wrong. We meet Hallie at the beginning of the second episode.
She's a very ambitious and strong and sort of ruthless young woman.
She is an embed on the bus who Jim meets. She resents him being there and him saying, God, why aren't you guys asking all these questions? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?
You've heard the only answer you're gonna hear. Learn how this works, because you're driving the rest of us crazy.
Even though she's horrible to him, I think it's an angry kind of friendship and possibly relationship that starts.
Constance Zimmer plays Taylor, a Romney campaign spokesperson, and every time Jim raises his hand and says, but what about, no, here's what we're talking about today, here are your talking points. And so she and Jim spar really throughout the season.
She has nothing against Jim personally. She hates what the press does, but hating the press is part of her job.
I'll say Romney rocks if you give me 30 minutes with the candidate.
Why do you keep asking when you know the answer is going to be no?
So I can say I kept asking.
I hate the press in ways you can't even comprehend.
In addition to it being a very talented cast and crew, the cast and crew is a lot of fun.